Chapter 748. The beam of lightning faded after a long while, along with the thunder. Everyone was still trembling. They opened their eyes and looked at the battlefield. Wilbur stood with the thunder cleaver in his hand. He had a nonchalant expression, and he was unharmed. Roy had fallen to the ground with his thunder spear in hand. He had an awful expression. However, the lightning that surrounded him had faded away. It seemed like they were a tie. It was a shocking result for the people. They could not believe that Wilbur could tie with a shadow-level expert who unleashed his domain. They thought it was too outrageous. They wondered if Roy held back. Yumi felt overjoyed at that moment. Her heart was beating like crazy. Wilbur was not dead, and he tied with Roy. The crowd could not see what happened, but as a saint-level cultivator, she could tell that Roy was close to his limit, even if he held back from the battle. She was sure that Wilbur had shadow-level abilities. She was only happy for a moment. Then she immediately calmed down. Wilbur was going to face more than one shadow-level expert. More terrifying battles awaited him. No one knew that Roy was panicking. He unleashed his heavenly thunder domain. The thunder of destruction was an unstoppable attack, so he found it hard to believe that the Dasha guy was able to easily counter it. Moreover, Roy was injured. The force from that thunder dragon left him with internal injuries. The injuries were minor, but it proved that Wilbur was not weaker than him. He did not expect that at all. He felt like he might not be able to win the battle. The battlefield was dead silent. Everyone was looking at Roy and Wilbur. They wanted to know what would happen next. Wilbur had shut them up with his capabilities. They did not want to believe that Wilbur possessed the capabilities to fight a shadow-level expert. But that was the truth. They had to admit that Wilbur was very powerful. Suddenly, Roy said in a cold voice, "I underestimated you." "I told you to prepare your coffins," replied Wilbur nonchalantly. Roy looked displeased, but he was secretly happy inside. He was wondering what excuse he could use to make the three other shadow-level experts fight with him. It was hard for them to gang up on Wilbur because of their status. It was embarrassing enough that he was not able to defeat Wilbur as a shadow-level expert. That could be seen through the silence of the cultivators and the ninjas. They were slightly disappointed in Roy. Therefore, he had to get rid of Wilbur as soon as possible to regain his dignity. "Look at how this outrageous guy taunts us. We should work together to kill him. For the glory of Keratopia," said Roy while looking at the three shadow-level experts. Tay, Andrew, and Benedict exchanged glances. They were indeed astounded by Wilbur. He was able to fight Roy without any sign of losing. He was definitely a shadow-level being too. They felt like someone like him should not exist. It was a huge threat to them. They imagined what would happen if a shadow-level expert from Dasha took over the gardeners.